From Rome to home, the journey back to Cebu. 2 weeks in Rome, Italy felt like a dream, wandering through ancient streets, tasting authentic Italian pasta, and soaking in centuries of art and history. But like all good things, the trip had to end. Now, it's time for the long journey back home to Cebu, Philippines, a transition from the wonders of travel back to the rhythm of daily life. The long trip home. The return journey wasn't just a flight, it was an adventure of its own. A long-haul flight, endless airport layovers, and a ferry ride to visit family in the province before heading back to Cebu. Travel days like this remind me that coming home is just as much a part of the journey as leaving. Saying goodbye to Rome. The final morning in Rome felt surreal. As I walked through the cobblestone streets one last time, I let my eyes soak in every detail, the golden glow of the morning sun on the buildings, the quiet hum of a city waking up. I grabbed a cappuccino from my favorite cafe, taking a deep breath as I watched locals start their day. This wasn't just a trip, it was an experience that left a mark. But reality was calling, and soon, I found myself in a taxi, weaving through traffic toward the airport, suitcase packed with souvenirs and memories. The airport chaos and long-haul flight. The reality of travel set in as soon as I entered the airport, long lines, security checks, and the never-ending wait at the gate. The bittersweet feeling of leaving a place you've grown to love never gets easier, but excitement for home made the journey bearable. Flying across time zones is a strange experience. The night never really feels like night, and meals happen at odd hours. I tried to sleep, but the hum of the engines and the occasional turbulence kept me in a half-dream state. One movie, 2 naps, and countless stretches later, the pilot announced our descent. The ferry ride home and reconnecting with family. Before heading back to the city, I made a stop in the province, a few days to reset, reconnect, and embrace the simplicity of home. The ferry ride was a welcome break from the rush of airports and taxis. As I sat by the deck, the salty breeze brushing against my face, I watched the water stretch endlessly before me. It felt like a transition, a moment to breathe before diving back into life. Reuniting with family after a long trip is always special. Stories were exchanged over home-cooked meals, laughter filled the air, and for a brief moment, time slowed down. These are the moments that make coming home worth it. What travel teaches you? Every trip changes you in ways you don't realize until you're back home. Rome taught me to slow down, to savor every moment, to appreciate history and culture in a way I never had before. But coming home, that's where you see those lessons come to life. White heavy checkmark patience, travel tests your ability to adapt, whether it's waiting in airport lines or dealing with unexpected delays. White heavy checkmark gratitude, seeing new places makes you appreciate both the unfamiliar and the comfort of home. White heavy checkmark perspective, the world is vast and full of opportunities, but the people and places that ground you are just as important. Back to Cebu, back to reality. The moment I stepped off the ferry and into Cebu's warm air, I knew I was home. The city's energy, the smell of home-cooked food, the familiar streets, it all felt comforting and chaotic at the same time. The transition from vacation mode to work mode is always a challenge, but I carry something new with me every time I travel. This time, it's a renewed appreciation for balance, the thrill of adventure mixed with the stability of routine. Would I do it all over again? In a heartbeat.